On today's show, I finally jump back into the world of video reviewing and I get to examine something that I have been waiting for what seems like is an eternity, but it is the JazzInc Diorama 112 scale Ultimate Batmobile. What started out as a fan made item became a licensed item complete with beautiful packaging. I normally don't like to show the packaging, but here is some of that. Some beautiful designs right here. We got some specs and information if you want to pause it and see what's going on with it. But I'm going to try to break this down the best way I can. This is my first, I think, full-on video review of a vehicle this massive. So, well, that's not true. I did the Justice League RC car back in the day. Anyways, here we go. Let's dive into it. Starting things off first, we're going to be looking at the Dawn of Justice version of this vehicle because this is what I really bought this for. JazzInc Dioramas normally does the 1/6 scale stuff. They did a beautiful 1/6 scale version of this, and then they shrunk it down to a 1/12 scale. Overall, I love it. I do have a few things I want to point out and discuss, but I definitely dig this, and I think it overall is worth every penny. So, starting off first, we got the design here. Very sleek design from Zack Snyder and the team over there who designed this. There's some great featurettes and whatnot. The tires came out good. I thought they were going to be rubber. They might be, but they feel really hard. So I don't know if there's some type of plastic or whatnot, but they look really good. I mean, both sides of the car have some beautiful design elements to it with some angles and just the way it's presented, even with those fins on top. And there's a lot of magnetic pieces too, like the fins on top as well. And then of course, we got the front of the car here. All of it's like really nice. Those LEDs are beautiful. I do wish the yellow blinker like reflectors also lit up. I believe the whatchamacallit, the RC car ones did. I mean, considering the price of this thing, you would expect something like that. But, I mean, I'm being nitpicky. I mean, this thing was quite expensive, so I feel like I can be. But, I mean, look at those lights. They're nice and bright. They look really nice. Really no issues with that. Bring it in there. There's the machine guns there on the front, or some type of gun. That came out really good. But as you can see, the lights are quite bright. I got some lighting going on in here with that. I mean, look at the detail on the front too, like just all the dings and scratches and whatnot. They did a good job with that, I have to say. So what we're going to do right now is I think we're going to lower the lights just so you can see how bright those LEDs are. That's with all the lights in my room turned off. I mean, quite impressive, right? And then now I've turned it back on so you can see. They got a lot going on there. Very nice design. And of course it does move. Now the front axle isn't controlled by the steering wheel or anything, but it will go back and forth. Just like in the movie, the real car, you can see how it turns like that. That was a nice feature to add on, I think, just to give you more playability or posing options. It's weird saying posing options on a car. But it came out tremendous. Once again, very satisfied with that. All of that came out really nice. Looks really great. Then we get to the back here. The back's got a lot of nice detail. Obviously, the car could lift up in the movie and lift down. I wish JazzInc could have gotten that down. Unfortunately, they didn't, so it is what it is. It would have been nice. It also would have been nice to have an LED in the back for the flame effect and a flame effect. I think that would have been doable. They're doing it now. I don't think they were doing it then. But it still looks good. So, I mean, you got that going for it. But it would have been nice to have something like that just to add that little extra sizzle to the steak that is this vehicle. And then, as you can see, the design in the paint on the front looks really nice. The camera brings out the color a lot better. In person, it looks a lot more black, but once you film it and stuff, it definitely has the shades of black and gray that's more representative of the car. And going back to the front just real quick, something that I wanted to point out here is the the cannon here in the front. It does rotate. This is on a magnet. This is a very ingenious design. You can take it off and on, and we'll get to that when we get to the Justice League upgrade parts too. But those do rotate. As you can see, it would have been nice if there were some pins in there so you could add blast effects and whatnot. But once again, this is all hindsight after the fact. As you can see, the canopy lifts open. I will say I do wish that the canopy would rip off like how Superman does it. That would have been nice. But the chairs are done really good too. You can lift them up. They're all magnets, so they stay in place once they're in. And then, of course, you got the roll bar right there that comes in and out. I would say be careful with this so it doesn't break. I did have a break on this vehicle, and I'll touch upon that here in a moment. The steering wheel, I was trying to fit the tactical bat in. It broke. Thank God for my friend George. He was able to put a screw in and fix it. It was quite sad. I didn't know if I was actually going to film the review, but it still retains the rotation. Once again, the steering wheel by itself, before it broke, didn't have that going on. As you can see, it lights up there. But the steering wheel will move if you wanted to. But it's a pretty tight fit. As for the rest of the console, you got the joystick right there. I'd be careful with that. That does not move at all. And then here we are. Batman pose with the Batmobile right behind it. It's just beautiful. Just a stunning piece. Now, my Batman, I had somebody do an airbrush job on it to make it a little more movie accurate. So that's why mine looks different. But look at these two together. Beautiful. And then, can he fit in? I have a custom wired cape on mine, and he was still able to fit in. It was a little tight at times, but I was able to get him in. So just something to point out there. You're going to have to fidget around with it, and please be careful so you don't break your steering wheel like I did. But I love that it's in there. If I can shut this properly, you can see the bat chin in there, and then everything shuts quite nice. And I just love this. This is just fantastic. I'm absolutely goo-goo gaga for it. And then, of course, if you want to fit another Mezco in, I brought in, what is that, the Sovereign Knight? I think it's the Sovereign Knight with the pointy cowl ears up, just so you can see that. And it will shut with that in there, too. I tried a McFarlane figure. It will not fit. Maybe if you had a soft goods cape, it would fit in a little better. But I think that's going to wrap it up for the Dawn of Justice side. Let's kick it off in Justice League mode. I got a time lapse here. I'm just taking all the pieces. Once again, these are all magnets. These all just fit right in. You pull one piece out, you put another in. You're creating something really cool, really fun. I was actually on the fence about getting the Justice League upgrade because I have the RC car. I'm happy that I did, but at the same time, it's kind of, I did it just to complete what I had. They also had an optional diorama base, which I did not pick up. And there is the Justice League version of the car, fully assembled and ready to take on Darkseid and Parademons and all that other fun jazz. Get it? Because it's JazzInc, Jazz. Anyways, bad joke. So, let's look at this. There's the cannon, or the missile launchers in the front. Once again, these just rotate and plug in and out with magnets. I like this. It would have been cool if there were some slots with some blast effects and whatnot. This is just me sounding spoiled and horrible. But I don't think it's unwarranted for the cost. And then we got the cannon, or the machine guns right up there that plugged in from the front fins of the other version. And then you have more missiles there that just plug in with magnets as well on the side. And of course we got the shield and the cannon on top, so you can see that. And then another machine gun. Those are really the big pieces that just switch out to make it the Justice League Justice Mobile. And there's a shot of the cannon. The cannon's a little hollow on the inside of the barrel. You might be able to fit a blast effect in there. I'm not sure. As for the machine guns, I'm going to get to that in a moment. But those look really good. They're painted really well. Like I said, they fit in via magnets. Once they're in, they're in. There's really no issues with that whatsoever. I will say I wish that the barrels rotated. They do not. The big cannon on the passenger side does move a little bit just because it just plugs in. But it doesn't do a whole lot. And then, of course, as you can see, there's the blast shield on the side there. And then I wanted to show you guys the other side with the other missile. It's identical. Both sides are identical with the little missile launcher things. But all of that came out good. As for the cockpit, as you can see, it's a lot tighter in there now because we got a giant cannon on the passenger side. But they did a tremendous job. All of it came out nice. The shield does, or the canopy replaces. You lose a, whatchamacallit, you lose one side and you get a whole separate piece for that. Now, here is the Mezco Tactical Batman with a custom cape. He's all ready to see if he can fit in. I eventually did get him in. Spoiler alert, even though you're about to see it. Once again, I would just say be careful with that. Once he's in, though, he looks beautiful in there. He looks like he's ready for a war. It all fits in. The lid does shut. I don't think I filmed that or I edited it out for whatever reason, but it will shut. There's really no issues with that. As you're going to see, I'm going to show a couple other things you can fit in there as well. You do have the third party, I'm rich, Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck look. He fits in there too. And the canopy will shut. I think SH Figuarts and Mafex will probably work best with this thing, to be honest. But I did plug in the Nightmare Batman from Mezco as well. So as you can see, that fits in there. And I did get the canopy to shut, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there you go. And real quick, just a quick size roundup. As you can see, there's the Mattel RC car next to the JazzInc Diorama. Obviously, that's got a motor in it with pistons and things that make the thing lift up and down. Definitely different size, but it was a real tight fit, fitting something in there. And just one more quick size roundup. We have the DC Collectibles Animated Series Batmobile, JazzInc. And then, of course, the Mattel RC car. I never bought the other Mattel RC or Batmobile, so I can't show you that. And then here's all four of those guys right in front of the Batmobile. And it's very nice. It's very rewarding to finally have this piece. However, it did come at a great cost. So I'm going to be honest with you guys and say, if they have any in stock still, just be prepared to fork out the money because it's not cheap. And I would say, if you're happy with other versions out there, just stick with that. If you really want to dive in and you love that franchise the way I did and a lot of other people did, then pick it up. Overall, JazzInc did a phenomenal job. Thank you for watching. This thing's gone with the wind long. Head over to Comic Crusaders to see pictures. And thank you so much for taking the time with me on this ride. Take care.